Brought to you by Penguin. Spark Joy, an illustrated masterclass on the art of organizing and tidying up by Ms Kondo, translated from the Japanese by Kathy Hirano. Read for you by Sumalee, Montano. Preface. Life truly begins only after you have put your house in order. That's why I've devoted most of my life to the study of tidying. I want to help as many people as possible tidy up once and for all. This doesn't mean, however, that you should just dump anything and everything. Far from it. Only when you know how to choose those things that spark joy can you attain your ideal lifestyle. If you are confident that something brings you joy, keep it, regardless of what anyone else might say. Even if it isn't perfect, no matter how mundane it might be, when you use it with care and respect, you transform it into something priceless. As you repeat this selection process, you increase your sensitivity to joy. This not only accelerates your tidying pace, but also hones your decision-making capacity in all areas of life. Taking good care of your things leads to taking good care of yourself. What sparks joy for you personally, and what doesn't? The answers to these questions represent a major clue for getting to know yourself as a recipient of the gift of life. And I am convinced that the perspective we gain through this process represents the driving force that can make not only our lifestyle, but our very lives shine. Some people have told me that they had almost nothing left after discarding those things that didn't spark joy, and at first, didn't know what to do. This reaction seems particularly common when people finish tidying their clothes. If it happens to you, don't be discouraged. The important thing is that you have noticed. The real tragedy is to live your entire life without anything that brings you joy and never even realize it. From the moment you finish tidying, you can begin to add a new zest to your home and to your life. Only 2 skills are necessary to successfully put your house in order: the ability to keep what sparks joy and chuck the rest, and the ability to decide where to keep each thing you choose and always put it back in its place. The important thing in tidying is not deciding what to discard, but rather what you want to keep in your life. It is my hope that the magic of tidying will help you create a bright and joyful future. Introduction. The KonMari method. KonMari, is there an illustrated guide that explains your tidying methods the same way you do in your lessons? I don't know how many times I've been asked this question. My response has always been the same. But you don't need one, because success depends 90% on your mindset. I know that no matter how much knowledge you may gather, if you don't change your way of thinking, you'll rebound. What I'm trying to share as a tidying consultant is not a mere tidying method, but rather an approach that will enable you to become capable of tidying. And I believe to achieve this, something similar to shock treatment is necessary. At the same time, however, it's true that once people have committed themselves to tidying up, they may want more detailed instructions. For people in the middle of the tidying process, then, what could be more helpful than an illustrated guide? For people who have not yet committed themselves, however, such a book could actually make things worse. In that sense, publishing this illustrated guide could be likened to sharing a book of forbidden knowledge. So, let me ask you point blank, are you committed to completing the once-in-a-lifetime special event of tidying up? If you answered yes, then please go ahead and keep listening. Even if you have already finished your tidying campaign, the tips for making your home spark joy are bound to be of use. If you answered no, however, please start by reading my first book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. If you have already read it but still aren't committed, please read it again, because something, and probably something quite small, has kept you from tidying up so far. This illustrated guide is a comprehensive compilation of KonMari method know-how.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?